Okay, welcome to the iOS 11 meeting. First meeting of the year on this subject because of the hurricane. I hope everybody survived the hurricane okay. I know we evacuated to Atlanta for about 11 or 12 days, waiting for electric to come back on before we return. But we are back and ready to rock and roll. And then we have anybody here for the very first time? Good, then we can dispense with...
We have anybody here for the last one?
We're checking.
So we'll dispense with all the normal announcements. And I have a lot of things to go over today. We're not going to get over everything, but the second Tuesday or second Wednesday of next month, which is a couple weeks away, I'll be picking up again on iOS 11, and we'll have plenty of time to go over more things at that time. So, first of all, iOS 11 is not so big of an update for the phone. There are some significant changes. But for the iPad, it's very significant. And one of the most significant things, as you can see on the screen, is the dock that you can now have on the iPad at the bottom, so you can put things down there. And we're going to take some time to just go over that for a moment. They gave some statistics, and I don't recall exactly what they were, but I think you can have 11 items on the dock on a mini iPad, on a 9.7 or 10.5, which is what this is. You can have 13, and I think you can have 15 or so on the big iPad. Those numbers might be off a little bit, but you can have a lot. And then, and it's really easy to put things down there, and you can put it down by holding your finger down and get the normal shake with the arrow or with the X's, but you don't have to do that. All you really need to do is to just grab something. So I'll just grab like the files and just grab it, and you just put it down here.
So you can put folders in there too.
And you can put folders in there, and you can put things in the folders while they're there.
Excellent.
Okay? So again, you don't necessarily have to. You just grab it with a light touch. Now, if you do hold it down, hold it down. That one won't. That one will not jiggle because you can't get away. You can't delete that one. But if you hold it down, get it to jiggle, you can also then still move them in here and move them out. But it's not necessary to go through that process if you don't want to. You can just, again, you can just grab any one. Whoops. You just grab any one and just take it down. Put it in. Okay? So that is really a great feature. And again, also you can move things around from screen to screen without having to press hard to get that X like you used to. So in other words, like I can take Bloomberg, and once I've got it moving, I can move it wherever I want to move it to. Okay. And again, I can do it the old way by again holding it down. Hold it down and and still do it the old way of moving it with the X's, but you don't have to do that. If you're light touched, and you just hold it a little bit and just move it. Okay?
So the only time you want the X is if you want to delete something.
Yeah, really the only time you need the X is if you want to delete something. But if the X pops up, you can still move it around that old way, but you don't have to. Now, Don.
My question, you mentioned the iPad mini. Did they release any new iPads that are not Pro?
No, they did not. Yes.
I was told that they weren't going to do any more iPad minis.
I don't think that they are, but it does work on that. And I've got that actually in some notes. So let's go over that. There's our dog. Sleeping? here. Ah, he's the greatest dog. Anyhow, so let me go into here and get my, oops, that was in notes. It actually was in notes. So let me get to my notes and compatibility. Okay, so iOS 11 is compatible. It's first of all, it's a 64-bit. It only works on 64-bit apps. So some of your apps might not work. If they don't work, it's because the developer has not updated the 64-bit. And I went through and cleaned up mine. I just deleted the ones that weren't. But it is compatible with the following devices. So here are the various iPhones. Okay, starting with the 5S on up. And then on the iPads, there's the iPad Mini 2, 3, and 4. And the Air 2, the 5th generation, and then the 10.5, which I have today, and so on. So it's compatible with a lot of devices, but not some of the real old ones.
Is there an iPad Mini 1 that?
I think there's a Mini 1 that it won't update to.
And how do you tell? You look under about this Mac or about this iPad. It doesn't list them in this way. How would you know?
You take and if you Google which iPad do I have, and it'll give you instructions on what to do. But you put in like the serial number, and it'll tell you. Because I had the same issue. But if you Google, how do I determine which iPad I have, there'll be instructions on, I don't know if you put you put one of the numbers from that page about this Mac in there, and it'll show.
Okay. The model number of your iPad is stamped on the back in almost unreadable format. You're right. It is on the back, but it's not in the general about.
Yeah, if you go to General About, the model number is there, Don.
Well, that's because you put it in.
No,
Right down there.
Right at the top?
no, right here.
Oh,
Maybe that's on the newer, maybe on the Pro. It's not on the older model.
It's on that one, but
When do you know it's old?
this is old. This is about 3 weeks old. Okay. So I don't know. Has anybody got an older one here that can check and look and about and go down to right around 10 items down?
Yeah, you mentioned the original iPad Mini, which is the one I have. It's stuck at iOS 9, and of course, it's not going to take the update.
Right. So you can still buy the minis, but you're not buying. You're buying the 4. You're not buying. There's no new refresh on the minis, and I don't know that there will be. Not from what I've read. Okay. So I want to go back to this dock, and I want to point out a couple more things about this. I've been working with iOS 11 for about since about beginning of July. When it first came out, it was really buggy. I had developers copy, and after about 4 or 5 updates, it became pretty workable with a lot less bugs, and I really like it. And one of the things I really like is the stock feature, because I'm not going back and forth from pages and so on, and it holds quite a bit. But if you notice, it's hard to see, but there's a little line right here. Can you see that line? And this is sort of like on the Mac. Items on this side of the line are, they talk in videos and in descriptions that it'll be your most frequently used apps. I've not found that to be the case. What I've found it to be the case is it's the last app that you used. Because my most frequently used apps are not necessarily there. Now, one little trick that I found is that those show, and of course, if you're, for example, shopping for your wife, and you have Amazon down there, and you say, I really don't want, she's gonna see that on the, and what are you buying at Amazon? And now, you know, her birthday gift or whatever you're getting her is not gonna be a surprise. So there is a way to get rid of that temporarily. And what you do, and I'll put my finger on that Amazon, and those minus signs come up, and you notice at the top the X's come up. And the X's come up down here, but over here minuses come up. So I just go over here and I hit minus, and it disappears.
So those change as
Yes,
you use them?
Yes, so in other words, I've got files in here, I'll get rid of that one. Only 3 will show. So I've gotten rid of 2, now I'm done. So let's say now I open up this, Bloomberg, okay, all of a sudden see Bloomberg down there?
Yeah.
And then I open up Stock Tracker, and then, Stock Tracker's down there, okay? But again, if there's some reason that you don't want it to show, then, you know, I don't want my son to know that I've been looking at Bloomberg again. You can just temporarily get rid of that, and only 2 are going to be there until you open up another one. Now weather, yeah, so the weather, there you go.
Are those sweepable? In other words, can you find the 4th most used?
No, there's only
It's
3.
just only 3 at a time?
There's only 3. Only 3 on that side.
So
Now, and on this side, you can move things around. So if you go over here, I can just, I don't have to, again, I don't have to press them hard to make them jiggle, but I can move them around. I want this one over here. Okay?
Nice.
So they're really trying hard to duplicate the dock on a Mac computer. And they haven't quite got it, but it's pretty, I found it to be very, very useful.
What happens when you go vertical?
Do you lose part of the dock?
They just become smaller,
Okay.
okay? So they do become smaller.
Is there any equivalent function of the options that the docs give you for action in the iMac, in the Mac?
No, any equivalent,
Well, you can choose to keep it, you can choose.
oh, yeah, well, you can't, hold on just a second. Back here, okay. No, you know, on the dock, if you grab it, like with your cursor and go like this, it'll disappear.
Yeah.
It doesn't delete the app, but it disappears from the dock. Here, if you grab it, all you're gonna do is take it up there. Okay? Or you're gonna take it on to whatever page you're on. So,
Yeah, but you can quit from there in the Mac and those functions.
yeah, no, you can't do that. No, none of that stuff.
Mitch,
Yes,
what if you have an app open? Like
yes.
say you have Pages open and you do that with one of the apps. You sweep the app upward. What happens?
Nothing.
Two,
No.
you have 2 pages. Split.
Oh, you can do split screen, but no, I mean, you're talking about like, so if I have Safari open, okay, here, so Safari's open,
Yeah.
and if I take and just move a Safari up here, it's still going to be open. There it is.
Oh,
Okay? That doesn't affect it at all.
Okay, so after you install,
No, we don't want to do that right now. Okay.
How do you get Amazon back?
Well, you'd have to go to here and just go, that's Amazon Videos. So Amazon Videos, whatever you hit on, it's going to be there. The Amazon I had was their shopping app, which was this one. Okay? So now, all of a sudden, when you go back to there, you'll notice that it'll drop them. So the next one it'll drop is the weather. So let's go to movie of the day. Okay, and now movie of the day is there, and it dropped weather. Okay? It drops the last one. So I think Amazon Movies was the other one, so let's just see if I'm right. So, yeah, Amazon Movies is gone. Okay, yes, Don?
A question on your model again. I disagree respectfully. What model does your iPad say? Is it an iPad Pro 12.9-inch second generation, year 2017?
Which,
You're good. Can you go to settings, general, about, for model?
yeah, it won't tell you what it is. It'll just tell you the model.
Model number.
It just tells you the model number.
So what model number does yours say?
My model number says MPHJ2LL/A.
Apple calls it a model A1670 or 1671. If you look at the back, they don't want you really to know how old your thing is. You know, it's a secret. You really have to delve into it to see, because they don't list it like that on their thing. They say model number A, such and such, 4 numbers.
The terminology is different here than there.
That and there. Well,
But Apple.
but you can still, there is a way to do it.
You can go, yeah, on the Apple website, yeah, you can
Yes.
find exactly.
Yeah,
Which one?
I just sent to the group, how to tell which iPad model you have.
Okay,
So everybody's got it.
Okay.
The information now.
great.
How to find
I know I've done it, it's just not something I do very often, but he's got an email out there, and so you'll be able to get it.
Do you think they're still going to continue making the non-Pro model iPads? Because they're really expensive. I might buy one of the non-Pro, the smaller one, which I guess is effectively replacing the iPad
The
mini.
9.7?
Yeah, but non-Pro is considerably cheaper than the Pro model.
Yes, I don't know if they're going to continue
I
to sell
don't
those
need
or
a
not.
keyboard.
I don't know if they are or not. Okay. So, okay, so that's the dock. It's really handy, again, and it's really handy that you can put a folder in here. And you can also add things to the folder or take things out. I played around with that, and that's really nice. Now, the next big thing on the iPad is the control center. And the way you get, there's a couple ways to get to that. One is double tapping on the home button. The other way is to swipe up. Okay? And so I want to spend some time on this. And this is the same on the phone, except on the phone, all you see is the control center, and you don't see the open pages. Okay? This control center used to be 3 pages long. One page was music, one page was some of this stuff, and then the last page was the home things. So now they have it all in one page, and at first I didn't care for this, but very quickly I really got into this, and I use it all the time now. And the thing that's really nice about it is you can customize it. So you can't get away, you can't do away with these, or these, or these, but all these items here you can customize, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And they all have sort of hidden functions on the haptic touch. So in other words, if I go here, a lot more stuff pops up just by holding my finger down. And then to get out of that, I just touch anywhere on the screen. And if I go to here, there's none. But if I go to the music, this one will show different things. If I go to the music or the sound, and you can go like this. Same thing with the light, but you can also do it just right here. Flashlight, you can set the level right here. Photos, there's some options there, take a selfie, so on. And so this is pretty neat. And where it says George's MacBook right here, normally that would just show mirroring, I believe. Let me look on my phone real quick. Yes, mirroring. Screen mirroring, if I wasn't on George's. So let me show you how you customize the, now, and then while I'm here, these are the pages that are open on the Mac, or on the iPad. And this is something we've talked about periodically here. You can have as many of these open as you want. It does not affect the battery. That used to be an issue about iOS 6 level. But anymore, you can have as many open as you want. You don't have to close them. Doesn't affect the battery life. Don, did you hear that? Okay. Okay. So, and to close these, you just take your finger and swipe them. So if I want to close this one on news at the bottom here in the middle of the page, I just swipe it up. If I want to close the one up above it, reminders, just swipe it up.
Mitch, how did you get this?
You get it by double tapping the home button or by swiping up. So, and tap the home button again over here. So if I swipe up from the bottom, comes up. If I hit the home button, I'm back here. If I hit the home button twice, it comes up. Okay? Okay, so I want to talk about, we got the flashlight on, let's turn that off. I want to talk about how you customize these things here. So the way you do that is you go to Settings, right down here, and go to Control Center, which is right here. Okay? Control Center. And you go to Customize Controls. And it'll have a list of all of them that you can include on that page. There's only 3 that I don't have on there. One's a stopwatch, one's guided access, and the other one's accessibility shortcuts. The other ones I have on there. Now, one of the things that people don't like is the fact that when you're on that page, right here, you can't move the items. You can't say, well, oh, I want the house stuff up here. You can't do it from here. You have to do it from here. So if you wanted the house to be at the top, you'd have to take the home and you'd have to move it up. Move it down. Okay? This is where you sort of change the order of them. So you got flashlight, timer, camera, notes, magnifier, text size, alarm, the Apple TV remote. I've been using that the last week, and I really like that too. I don't have to use the remote, it just does it. Screen recording, which I'm going to go into, and that's something I think is handy. And home, which is for HomeKit, for the automatic HomeKit stuff. And then if you don't want one on there, like HomeKit, I don't have any HomeKit stuff, so I'll put it down here. Now when I go back to here, you'll notice the home is gone. Yes?
So the calculator's not a choice anymore?
The calculator is,
It's in the dock.
it's in, hold on a minute.
Oh, you have yours in the dock? Oh,
No,
Calendar, I think.
calendar.
just a second. On the phone, it is. Okay, hold on just a second. On the phone, it is. On here, it is not, because the native app is not available on the iPad. You have to download a separate app.
Yeah, because the App Store has a bunch of calculator apps.
Yes.
I don't think it was ever on the iPad.
It was never on the iPad.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
It was never on there. So it's not a choice here, but on the phone, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have, when you update, and incidentally, I think it's safe to update to iOS 11. How many people in here have updated to iOS 11? Just a few? Okay.
Is it the second one? iOS 11.1 or 11.1?
Yeah, 11.1 that just came out with yesterday, 11.01.
That was a fast update.
It was a fast update, and I think it was to do some security stuff, and there was one other change that I noticed. So if you haven't updated, I'd suggest that you update. It's important to keep these things updated, or if you have a device, and the update works very well. I've had no problem, but I've had this on for several months now. I don't think I know I haven't updated my wife's yet. That's coming.
Only iOS 11, not High Sierra.
Yeah, not High Sierra. The club is not recommending that you update to High Sierra yet.
And I just talked to Dennis before. He said the same thing. Do not update. Don't do High Sierra yet. And also, I just saw an email coming from David Cox, who does a lot of these tutorials, and he's also recommending do not, but don't.
Yeah. Okay, now, I want to talk a little bit about this little guy right here, which is really a neat feature. This is record your screen. And I'll show you how this works. We'll actually do one right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand down on that, and it'll come up and it'll ask me, do I want to record the sound, and then it'll start. So we'll do one real quick. Okay, turn on the microphone. I had to hit the microphone. Start recording. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, it's recording now, and I'll go back out to here. Oops, it should be recording, and I don't see that it is. So let me go back in and try that again. Nope. Yeah. Oh, yeah, start recording. Yeah, now it should be recording. Screen recording. But it's not recording.
I think we should see.
Because you should see it. So let's try again.
I think you have to hit that dot.
Screen record. Start recording. Should be recording?
Is the button supposed to turn red?
Yes, it is. And for some reason, that's not working.
Do you need to hit both of them?
No. You don't. Let me just switch devices. Hold on. We've got ways to get around this stuff. Turn the book off. Stop mirroring. And get on my phone. So we'll go here. And start mirroring. Hey, there we go. Okay, so now I'm on my phone. We'll try it on the phone and see how it does, because I've done it on the phone several times. Okay, screen recording. Let's see if it's on. For some reason it is not.
I'll bet it's because you're mirroring.
It's probably because I'm mirroring. You're right. It's probably because I'm mirroring. So, rather than demoing that, I'll show you one that I did. Because I just thought it was pretty neat. So, the one I wanted to show, I'll show this one. I forget the subject that this is on, but they'll show right in your, so they'll show right in your camera roll like this. I got 3 of them in there. Okay. You can send them to somebody, but if it's longer than about a minute and 30 seconds, you can't email it because it'll be too big. But you can text it. So I'll play this one. So it comes up like this, and we'll just play it. Okay, this is an example of how to use the new screen recording feature in iOS 11, which I find to be very handy for sending messages, making notes, including things in email. And I think it will come in handy in the club for answering people's questions that they might send in. So the recording is on. That's indicated by the red flashing light in Control Center. So we'll get out of here. And for this demonstration, I'm going to go into Safari. Hold on a minute. The thing that indicates that it's on is this red line up here. And that's why when I was trying to get it on and I went to the main page, I could tell it wasn't on because that red line was not at the top of the page. Okay, so here we go. And I have a clean page already set up. And I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to search for okay. Also, what I found out is that when you turn on Siri and start dictating, it stops recording your voice. So that's why it went silent. Okay?
Mitch,
Yes.
the mic is really the phone's mic.
Yes.
It's a great,
Yes.
it's a great capture of sound.
Yes. So let me go, I'm going to go back to that. And so when the sound goes off, that's when I started doing the Siri. And I have a clean page already set up. And I'm going to go to the top. And I'm going to search for... There's Siri's on. Okay. The result comes up. Here it is. How to force restart or hard reset the iPhone 8. Okay. I don't know if you saw the post, but there was a couple, I was going to post one and somebody beat me to it yesterday. Jeff put it out there, but if you have an iPhone 8, there's a different way to hard sync it. There's a different way to hard sync a 7, and there's different, and it's yet different for an 8. It's a 3-step process, and that's just outlined right here.
The hard reset?
Hard reset, yeah. So it's 3 steps of the Plus, which is a little bit different than with the 7 or the 6 series phones. So 3 functions: press and quickly release the volume button, press and quickly release the volume down button, volume up was first, and then press and hold the side button, aka the power button, until you see the Apple logo. So you would simply then I'll stop this recording and you would just email it to whoever wanted the answer. Okay. So, when you email it, I'll show you what happens. In this outbox right here, I tried to email it. I tried to email that one, and it's sitting in my outbox. And when you go there, it says, this is too big. Because it was a minute and a half, and it needs to be just a little smaller, maybe a minute and 30 seconds. So, again, the way to get around that is when I go to Messenger, and I look at myself, I sent the video to myself, and there it is. And it plays just fine in there. Okay. Okay, this is an example of how to use the new screen recording feature. Okay, so we won't go through that again. Any questions on that recording function? I think it's a really great thing. I've used it a couple times. I had my son actually called me and he had a question on how to do something on Facebook with security. And I just got on Facebook and walked through the steps, recorded it, and I sent him the recording.
How big is the file if you want to send it out? Is it very large? You know?
I don't know how big that file is.
39.
Well, on the email it said,
35
on the email it said 39.3 megabytes. And that was for a minute, almost a minute and a half. Okay? Yes.
There is that record
Yes.
up there.
Yeah, the red.
What's that? When does it come up?
It comes up when you start recording.
That gray up on the top left corner.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because, I don't know why that's on, because I don't have the record on. And that's not showing on my phone.
What's been on it for?
It might be because, I don't, George? Do you know why that record's showing up there?
Nope.
It could.
It would not be on my phone.
No,
Okay.
I think it has to do something with the mirroring,
Yeah.
because it's not, if you look at my phone, it's not there.
I
Yeah.
just, it's irrelevant.
One of the reasons why I asked the question, we recently made a few very large videos, and I think someone, maybe it was George suggested to use an app called Compress
Yes.
Video, which is free.
Yeah.
And I compressed a file that had 300 megabytes to less than 30, and the quality didn't really suffer. And I sent it, I have a new grandson, so I sent it to the entire family. And with the 30 MB, it worked very well. The 300 did not. And the recipients the quality was excellent. So I think I recommend that Compress app for very large videos. It's called Compress.
Yeah, I think what you would have to do, I don't know that, is it an app that you can get on the phone? Because I think that's an app that you get, is it on the phone?
It's on my phone.
Because I've used it on the Mac before, one on there.
No, I just installed it a few weeks ago.
Okay.
No, I think the one on the Mac is compressor, I think.
Compressor?
It's called Compress.
This one, I think, is just called, you see here,
The third party app.
I think it's just Compress.
With a C or a K?
There's a C.
Compressor is a Mac app,
And I think
not
I
Compress.
searched for it, I think it was Compress Video probably, yeah.
Okay.
Video compression, is that it, $1.98?
No, it's
Which one is it?
It's sort of blackish. I'll show you what it looks like here.
Oh, this one?
This is,
Let's see what it looks like. If I get the right one. Compress.
maybe I searched it on a video compress and then it came up as compressed.
It looks like this one right here, but the picture was a little bit different. Looks just almost like that, same arrows at the top,
It
right?
was more on the top. Go back up and when you're looking
No?
at, no.
You can search it on the video compress and you see.
I'm gonna get it and see what happens. I'll see how it looks when I get it down.
There, guys.
There's another one below it, video.
Video
compressor.
compressor.
Yeah, no, it's not it. That's not what it looks like. It almost looks like this one because his was black like that. It's just that it didn't have that little red in the middle.
It says MB, it says MB in the middle.
And that's the way it's coming down. Well, it's compressed anyhow. And thanks for that, because I think that would be helpful to a lot of people who want to send a big video. Okay? Now, I'm thinking about, okay, so while I've got the phone up, one of the other really nice features that they've come up with is this do not disturb while you're driving. Okay? So I want to go over that. And where that is in notifications. So if you go to settings, right here, okay, and then go down to, I believe it was, do not disturb. And you go down here to do not disturb, you go down sort of to the bottom, to do not disturb while driving. Okay? Everybody see that? Okay, now, it says manually, I've got it set on manual, and I'll show you where that is. But there are three choices. Automatic, which means when you get in your car and your car starts moving, that it sort of knows by the speed and everything, and the GPS, that you're in a car and it's going to turn it on. You can do it when you connect to Bluetooth, so many cars, as soon as you get in, your phone connects to Bluetooth, whether you know it or not, and it will automatically activate. Or you can do it manually. Now, one of the things they point out in some of the videos is that, well, this is really nice. You just put it on automatic, and you know, it's great, which it is. But if you happen to be the passenger in a car, it'll automatically block all your text and everything while you're a passenger in the car, when you could be using your phone.
But you might have to talk to the driver, because you won't have anything else.
You might have to talk to the driver. That's
Perish
right.
the thought.
Which I would rather have my
And
wife watch you or text.
If it's a driverless car in the future, what are you going to talk to? Yourself, I guess. Okay, but anyhow, that was pointed out.
But
So-
you know, Mitch, I have a question.
Yes.
I had a problem with that yesterday, I think, because I got into the car and I tried to go to the map app, and it wouldn't let me go because it's do not disturb.
Yes, I think that yeah, it does not want you touching the phone.
Right.
It does not want you touching the phone, and I've had a few problems with it. That's why I've got it set to manually so I can turn it on and off when I want to. But I want to point out a couple other things here.
But it's probably a good idea.
Yes, it is a good idea. Now,
What if you had started the maps before you put them, would it still not work?
well, it would still work, but I think your screen goes blank. Well, I'm not sure. They haven't tried that, but they say in the videos that the screen on the phone goes blank, goes black. You can't do anything with it. Okay?
I don't think it would matter,
Yeah.
even if you turned on the maps before.
Yeah.
Because I had the maps on before.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got in the car and I started driving,
You were out of luck.
I'm out of luck.
Yeah.
Mitch, why is the heading for that not bold like the other ones, the do not disturb while driving? The other things, oh, they're all like that, okay.
Okay.
Disregard, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the activate. Then underneath that, it's auto reply to, I don't want to go into that, it says favorites. You have several choices. So while this is on in your car, it will automatically send a reply to people. You can do no reply. You can do recent ones, which would be your recent people who have texted you, I don't know, in the last day or two. You can do favorites in your phone list, which is usually your family and close friends, contacts. Or you can do all of your contacts. Okay? Now, I have favorites checked in mine. So, if George texts me and he's not in my favorites, because I don't call him all the time, then he would not get a reply from me. Okay? So, let me go back and I want to show you the reply that they get. Auto reply. So, if anybody's in my favorites and texts me while I have this on, it'll say, I'm driving with do not disturb. While driving, turned on. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going. And then, that's what the standard message is. And then in reviewing various videos for the class today, one of them had a really good suggestion, and it was add the sentence, if this is an emergency, please text me twice. because if they text you twice within 3 minutes, it will show.
Text or call?
Text or call, either one, yeah. I think the calls, did the calls come through for you, or did you try that? I have not tried it.
I didn't try it.
I think the calls come through because they're over Bluetooth. The text.
The normal do not disturb function, if people call twice, it does work.
Yes.
I tested that.
Okay, good.
But I have another suggestion. I mean, I use CarPlay,
Yes,
and I realize now when I'm not a great message sender or receiver, but after Hurricane Irma, I receive all kinds of messages. And in my car, I had connected my iPhone via CarPlay, and the messages showed up in my monitor, and I just had to press an arrow, and the message would be read to me.
yes,
And I could drive on and listen to the message, and I could also respond to it, speak
With
my
Siri,
response.
yeah.
So I felt that was very convenient. I didn't want to wait until I didn't even know at what time I would get anywhere sitting in my car. But that function, I had not realized that it existed before.
yeah, I knew it existed. I don't have a car with CarPlay yet, but I will not buy another car without
Yeah,
CarPlay. What kind of car do you have?
Cadillac.
Cadillac, okay, yeah, because almost all the GM and Ford cars have CarPlay. A lot more cars are getting that every day. Okay, so I want to get back to this for 1 minute and go to, well, if you got this on manual, how do you turn it on? Well, you turn it on in that control center area. So if I go up, swipe up on my phone, okay, you see the automobile right down here? All I do is hit that, and it says, while you're driving, do not disturb, it's going to be on.
Why do I not have an automobile on mine?
Because you're riding a bicycle. You might not have it on there because I think it's an automatic one, but let me just check in the settings in Control Center and see if that's one that you have to select. Customize Control Center.
And then they're while driving, yeah.
Yeah, it's one you have to select in the Control Center, George. Okay? You know how to do that, right? Okay. So here it is in mine. So that's one, again, that's another case that, and here's the calculator. So there's 2 of them that are on the phone that aren't on an iPad. Okay. So I wanted to go over that because that is new. I think it's going to be beneficial. I think it's got a couple quirks, like with the maps not showing the screen. I don't know what they'll do about that, but that would be problematic. Any more questions on that? Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I want to go back to the iPad. Let me just check iPad. And sign off of here. Sign on. This one. There we go. Okay, good. Now, let me see what I missed that I know I want to go over real quick. Check with my list. Control Center. Yes. One of the things that Apple came up with was some new formatting that you can do to save space with photos and films. With photos, you can go and have them stored as and we have Mr. Kennedy here, he might be able to give us more light on this, but it can be stored as a HEIF file versus a JPEG file, and that will save storage. And there's a way to get to that, and that's what I wanted to show. So what you have to do is go to Settings, and you have to go to General, right there, and go to iPad storage, right there. iPad storage. No, this is the cover space. No, I'm sorry. This is for the next item that I'm going to do. You go to camera settings. Camera. Okay. And then you go here to format. Format, okay. And here's the format. So the last item is format, and then here you can go high efficiency, you can go most compatible. Now, this high efficiency is again, to reduce the file size, capture photos and videos in a high efficiency, and that's where it would be an HEIF or HEVC format, depending on whether it's a picture or a video. And I kept mine, I have plenty of storage available, so I kept mine in the standard format, which is the JJ. But you need to be aware of that. Do you have any comments on that?
Well, it's a new format, and as far as I know, it holds a lot more information, and that was fighting the, what was it, the VHS versus whatever battle for getting it acknowledged, and why I don't know where it's going to.
But there was a reason why, I don't know what it was, there was a reason why I left mine on JJ. It was one of the videos I read that said that, I don't think it was a less quality issue, I think maybe it was a compatibility issue.
I read one article about it some time ago, and I don't remember all of it. So
I'll get more
maybe
info.
next time I can comment.
I did see something that said that people were complaining because the pictures were blurred. So they were saying to hold off on it.
Okay.
I'm having trouble finding where you are. I went to camera.
Oh, you go to camera, and then you go to the top one, preserve settings.
Then it says camera mode.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go to camera, and you go to the bottom one, formats.
I don't have that.
Doesn't show up? I don't know why it wouldn't show up. Do you have the other items?
You have to keep normal photo, why don't you click that, see what shows?
No, I have keep normal form photo clicked also.
Yeah, I still don't have it.
Do you have record? Do you have the record slow motion options and so on?
No.
You know, how old is that iPad?
Year and a half.
It,
It's the Pro.
it's the Pro.
The big Pro.
Yeah, the big Pro. They could have changed formats because this is the 10.5 that just came out, and there could be something new that you don't have in the chipset.
You know, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Mitch,
Yes.
I think I heard something where if you decide to use that, then you can't go back to JPEG. with those photos.
I don't know. We're gonna have to do some more work on that. I know I kept that, there was something that I read that I said, oh, I'm not gonna change this.
Yeah, I think I sent an article out about all that, but I'll have to check my file.
The next iOS session, I'll have more answers on that.
But we don't think it's available on just any iPad.
It must not be. Yes, Don?
Mitch, on the older iPads, you had this discontinued what do you call it? The stock app, what's it called, Market Dash. Did that transfer to the new iPad?
The stock app?
Market Dash, the one that came with the iPad. When you bought it, it was always there.
I don't think it's there. What's it called?
Market Dash, and then on the icon it says Yahoo with like mountains or, stock chart, blue. Market Dash. It's been on every, it transferred from my first iPad to subsequent ones.
I've never seen it.
It's only an iPad app, it's not a, well, no, it is, I think it is a phone app.
I don't see it.
I've never seen it.
I never did use their stock app, so I
How about the one that's called Stocks on the iPhone?
Well, that's
that's still there.
That's still there.
That's the only one I've ever used.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think stocks is still there.
Well, the keep normal photo is for the HDR mode, right?
It was on default, and I just left it there. Keep normal photo.
But I think it's for the HDR mode.
Okay. Oh, the HDR. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, there were a couple other things I wanted to look at here. So I had some longer videos, but we're not going to have time for those.
Can I ask a question?
No. Go ahead.
No, we just had a question that just came in from one of our members. And she wants to know, I can't seem to look at it, but she wants to know if she's reading an email, how does she access her calendar?
If she's reading an email, how does she access her calendar?
Yes.
Okay, so
Somebody's asking her if the date's available. And she's sending back an email.
okay, so if you have your email open, and then you want to get this gets into the split screen, which we didn't even get into, but at least on the iPhone or on the iPad, you can do this. You would just go up like this, and I would take my calendar, and this happens to be my calendar, and I would just bring it over here. Oops. No, that didn't work, so let's try it again. So in email,
Well, if you have the mail and the calendar at the top.
and I go, and I take my calendar, I should be able to just take the calendar right over here. That calendar is not going to split screen. The Apple calendar probably will, but I don't have that up here. Let me see. Sure, I have the Apple calendar somewhere, but there you
Yeah, it will.
go. It will. So that's how you would do it, is you'd
How do you
split
get rid
screen.
of the split screen then?
You just drag one over. So let's go back. Here's this, and let me do one that will do a split screen. So let's do settings. Yeah, that's a good one. Now, why isn't this wanting to work?
Maybe because you're mirroring.
Well,
Oh, mirroring.
there's another thing you can do. If you're writing a message, you can push it down to the bottom of the screen
Oh, yes.
and go look at your calendar, go back to mail and bring that message back up.
Yes, you could do that. And that's an easy thing to do. So if you're in here and you're starting a new message, and then you decide, well, I need to look at my calendar, you put it down there,
Right.
okay? But that's still.
How'd you
still
put it down
the
there?
app. You
Just slide it
just
down.
drag it down, and touch it to get it back up. So you just drag it down.
Says new message on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, but that still means you're not gonna lose your message, but now you still have to go in and go into your calendar. And then go back. And then you would just bring it back up.
Back and forth.
Yeah. The split screen will do it. I think the split screen won't work because we're mirroring. Because it should work. Hit split screen up before. Let me just try split screen one more time with a couple different things. So if we go to there's my Safari. No wonder I couldn't find it. I put it up there while we were working. Okay. So we open up Safari, and then we go down here and bring up Mail. Yeah, no, it's working. So it happens to be those apps. So that's a split screen. And you can take and move it that way, and you can take and take things from here. Take them from here and drag them over. I don't know why I can't. Should be able to take. I know you can take you can do that kind of thing. Drag what you're saying here, get to this length. But they do show that you can usually do pictures, and I don't know why I can't do the pictures. Oh yeah, there's one, okay. So, that's sort of neat, and then you can just bring this over and make it smaller if you want, okay? You can actually leave this area and go to, let's just say I'm going to settings, okay? And I do what I'm doing in settings, double tap this, I go right back in here, the split screen's still there, it's still active.
This is iOS, iOS 11. It will feel a lot like iOS 10.
Okay, so, to get rid of it, you ask, okay? So, I would just go like this. I just slid it over. You just grab the thing, and I don't think it'll come back, but I'll get it back. All right. Okay. There it is. It's still there. Does it?
Yeah.
Just be now. This what I'm doing is put my finger around this thing right here. Okay. That's what you do to move it. I can move it this way, I can move it this way. If I move it all the way over, it's going to do away with Safari. Okay, so I move it all the way over. Yeah, I can do that. This guy, I don't want him to play anymore. Okay, so if I go
Today we're
here,
going to be showing you the best hidden features.
there we go. But again, the thing that's nice about that is that if I go down here and I pull up Mail, that's still there. It didn't delete the message I was working on. So that's pretty slick. And
But
so
in order for that to happen, you have to drag it down. Otherwise, you lose it.
no, it'll stay there. Well, if I would close Mail completely, let's just see what happens if I close Mail completely. I think when I come back in, it'll still be there. Yep, it's still there. So the only way you get rid of it completely is by canceling, okay? It's the other thing you're talking about is grabbing it at the top and putting it down here, which I've used quite a bit. And then maybe I want to run up here and look at this email. What did this guy say? Oh yeah, that's what he said. And I'll pull this up and put some notes in from that email. Okay? Yes?
Can you do the split screen on the phone too, or just on the
No,
iPad?
you cannot do it on the phone. And you can't do you can't do the bar at the bottom on the phone either, other than the standard 4 or 5 that you're allowed to have on there. The dock, yes. Now, I gotta get the one thing that Bob emailed in. Did you figure that out? Okay. Bob had a question, and I'll get to that. So, let me get to your question real quick. I think it came in over here. Okay. Bob was having this problem with his email. The only thing that I could tell you to do is you had to split the keyboard open. You could close the split keyboard and you could put it down at the bottom again. You could leave it split and put it at the bottom. Do you know how to do both of those? Okay. So, I'll show you how to do those real quickly. Actually, I had a little video on that, and let me just bring that up because I think that'll help you. History. And the one I want is split keyboard. Shows it pretty quickly. Let me see, there's a couple of here. Tricks. I think his was pretty good. Let's just do this split keyboard here and see what this one shows. It's real short. See where they hit that keyboard? Right down there in the corner. So, when you're doing that, I'll show you on here. So if I do a new message, keyboard comes up, right here is where they're hitting that. So I'll hold my finger there. When I hold my finger there, this pops up. Okay? So it says split. Okay, now I split it, and it's up there. Now if I hold it down here, it'll say merge or put merge and go to the dock. But you can also split, you can also put it up there, the whole keyboard up there. You can split it, and you can dock and merge, which puts it down there. I thought there was a way to split it and keep it at the bottom, but I don't see that in the options. But that's what I would recommend.
Okay, so the control is holding the finger.
Holding your finger right here on this key.
And experiment with this right there.
Yes, exactly.
So that's good for some people?
Yeah, if you want to. And now I thought that you could move it up and down, but apparently you used to be able to move it up and down, but I don't see where you can do that. The other video I have on it, we got a couple minutes, I'll play it, and that's a MacMost. I think he went over it too. And let me get into that. So, history, oops, history.
Keyboard is up there. Not one?
No, this one right here. Yeah,
So
yeah.
iOS 11 is a few new keyboard tricks you show now. First one I'm going to show you is on an iPhone.
Oh,
So
no.
here you see the standard keyboard at the bottom.
I think this is a little bit different, but this is good.
And the keyboard button at the bottom left, it's a globe here on this keyboard. It changes on different keyboards. If I tap it, it will switch between keyboards. And then I can, the ABC button there, switch back. So I can go and tap and hold, and I get a list of keyboards I have installed. This is nothing new, but what's new is at the bottom you see there's 3 representations of the keyboard. The middle one's the normal one. And then I can do the left or the right, so like I'll tap the right one. And I can see I get a keyboard that's pressed towards the right. This is for single hand typing. So the idea is move the keyboard more to the right. This is very useful, especially if you have the plus models of iPhone with a larger screen. And now you can use your thumb and hold the phone and reach those keys. Otherwise, putting the keys all the way on the left was really difficult. Now I can use that arrow there on the left to expand back to full size. I can go again and go to the other side as well. So that's kind of a neat new trick you can do in iOS 11 on the iPhone. Now on the iPad, you've got an even better trick. Notice right here the keyboard has these little gray characters above the main ones. So for instance, above the Q there's a 1, above the G there's an asterisk, H and J with parentheses, things like that. Now you can type on this keyboard just as you could before. So I could just type normal. But if I were to tap a key and swipe down, just slightly, I get a special character. So you can see I can easily type these extra characters and even numbers with this gesture. It takes some getting used to. First few times you do it, you don't quite get the characters right. But after you get used to it, you can do it pretty easily. And this works even on the alternate versions of the keyboard. So in other words, I hit the 1, 2, 3 there at the bottom left. And now you can see I basically have, there's 3 keyboards. There's the letters, there's the ones with the numbers at the top and the name symbols. And then you can press for the special symbols as well. So you can basically access one keyboard deeper using this. So I can have the numbers here at the top, and now I can access the bracket and other things very easily. And there are some special keys that actually work with your swipe up as well. And they are, as far as I can tell so far, the common period keys. See, it's got the exclamation point and question mark. And they're not great, but I can still do the same thing with those. However, if I go up, I get alternates there. Now there are other keys where this kind of works as well, but instead of just tap and swipe up, you have to tap and hold. So for instance, you go down to this level and you tap and hold the $sign. You see you get other currency symbols above as well, which makes sense. The dash gives you other types of dashes. So there's some keys.
Okay, I'm going to stop him because we are out of time, but I hope you enjoyed this.